林先生今天大选后病倒了，
有点感冒。
这个已经算是正常，而且是算幸运。
哎呀，这个感冒就是小问题。
对，
我觉得最近这个大选突然间出了一个政治的大感冒。
哦，
你有发现吧？有一点像是地震了。
没有那么严重，
没有那么严重。
没有那么严重。
我的感觉就大家都在外面，就是大众都有一点感觉，选民都觉得很突然的一件事，就是
上个星期，就有人比你更严重一点。
哦，怎么说？
我没有感冒。就是大选，就是大家都做得很劳累，没有休息嘛。
对。
后港当选的议员姚兴龙先生，他就开车睡着了。
哦，对，我
看到那个新闻，那个是幸亏没有人受伤，没有人伤亡。
还好，这个在外国是不可能。你知道为什么？因为我们这个选举这个期间太短，
对，几天。
你说在世界第一世界，哪一个国家有举办这种大选，在仅仅单几天里面就选民？
我不要讲第一世界，我拿一个第三世界国家跟我们相比。
可能这样。
泰国的阿比系首相已经解散国会，宣布7月选举，所以从现在的5月到7月选举的时候，都是他们的就是竞选期间有这么充足的时间给各政党去竞选。那么为什么新加坡所谓的第一世界，居然这样？我们用internet 用英文说一说。
你是说这个泰国 Thailand's elections?
Yes.
So they have given ample time, so for 2 months or so.
Yes, the parliament is already dissolved by Abhisit, Premier. And their election is fixed in July. They have about 2 months for campaigning. And why the Singapore first vote? We have only 10 days, 9 days.
Yeah, given the short span of time, it's almost impossible to put up a good campaign, to do the outreach to the voters or residents in even the GRC or even the SMC. You have to have your posters, you have to have everything in place, and it's almost impossible to reach out. And you have to have volunteers. You factor in the number of polling stations. I was contesting in Ang Moh Kio, and we had some 48 polling stations, which is absurd, and some 10 over counting centers. So the number of volunteers or members that you have to deploy as polling agents and counting centers, you will have to need hundreds of them.
Despite this, this is not the only unfair factor. The most unfair factor here will be that they redraw the boundary 2-3 times in a very short span just before announcement of the election.
Yeah, one more thing I want to bring up. Now, my bad experience when we realized that when we put in the the polling agents. Now, I wonder if you notice that each polling agent, when he gets into the polling station, and the minute he goes up of the polling station, he will have to have another pass. They all have to undertake this oath.
Form 18.
Yeah, and then the secrecy oath. So when they go in, they have to surrender that form to qualify for entry. And then if they should leave the premises after that particular time and go back again, they will be turned down. Which means that some experienced polling agents need about 3 to 4 such.
This is very foul practice.
Yeah, it's absurd.
The election department can demand to have the form, but they have to record who is the agent that has been appointed by the candidate. And once it's appointed, the agent can leave the polling station and come back, especially when the agent have to cast vote. Yeah. Okay, this is a foul practice, and this is I will say this is an official fraud.
You have to leave each polling agent having to contest having to do the voting in his own hometown, would have to come back again, or maybe we would have to leave for lunch.
You need to have to lunch. You need to have to go and cast your own vote as an agent.
So
as well.
we were disadvantaged by this. Suddenly we felt we were at a loss because you have two, 3 polling agents having to leave at a certain time, and then you are unable to replace them. This is something.
So now, when you discover this, then did you see whether they do to the PAP's agents or not?
That I'm not too sure because for candidates,
you make this observation very important.
I think in
you make a comparison and you can catch them.
Yeah, in the next elections, I think the authorities, the election departments must take note that this must not go on. As for candidates, okay, our form is then we go into exchange for a sticker, which is based on the tag that we carry along, the pass that we carry along. So that authorizes us to move in and out of.
They should do the same.
Yeah, I think
they are trying to be difficult.
Given the fact that we have an age of era of computerization, what's so difficult?
我们应该把这个以中文拿来讲一讲，就是刚才林先生说，在选举投票站里面有很多这个反对党的监票员被刁难不让他们再进去这个
你解释就是说他们就是什么呢？就在这个应该是说在法律上他必须就是个
法律上有一个就是宣誓对选举的机密加以宣誓的那个表，那个表呢选举局是有权拿那张表是呈交给他，他可以收那张表，表收完了他必须登记记录说这个人身份证什么号码已经被什么政党的候选人委任为监票员，那么他可以进出，而且他要发那个保安的那个
问题出现什么？
卡片，
就是当这个 polling agent 一出去，监票一离开那个监票站，他就是不能再进去投票站，他又不能再进去，
就是故意刁难不让你进去。
那就是说有经验的一些党呢就厉害，就是弄4张，因为什么呢？他必须离开吃个饭啊，休息啊，因为你做整天嘛，你就早上8点到晚上8点，才算票。那这个期间你总要去回家投票，
你还要投票
对，你还要吃饭呢，
对，
但是你这样就要准备3张了，所以这个
是
绝对是对
无聊的，故意刁难的。我就是提醒说，如果有发生这种情形，那么你要看他有没有针对执政党的监票员也进行这样子做。如果是有偏差，只对反对党进行这样的刁难，那我们就要把证据抓下来，然后要把它拍下来放到 Internet。这个东西呢，就是官方舞弊，
就希望下一届
刻意刁难，大家要注意这种情形。
就下一届希望这个 elections department 不会再玩这个刁难我们。
他们玩过很多东西。我当监票员的时候，我抓过很多。这个游戏现在已经就不说。今天我们主要谈一下李光耀跟吴作栋不在内阁这个情形。
你觉得？我觉得这来这好像很多人感到很突然对吧？就是一种大地震。突然间就是大家
也不会很大，我觉得这2个人呢，连很多老人家都告诉我，他们在领干薪水，没有做什么贡献的，
那
不必要。
主流媒体也就是把他们捧的，就说这是很可惜以他们的这个分量。那我觉得，要是大家看在这个李光耀执政或者吴作栋执政，在这几十年。在带动这个执政党，那他栽培的这一批，你说非这2个人在带队的话，就整个队伍执政党就不行，那也就是变成笑话了，对吧？就说你少这2个长老，整个党就不行，整个政府都不行。
首先呢，我想大家要把这个东西看得比较清楚。OK， 到底他们是完成任务？光荣隐退，到底是还是不是？
与你看呢？
如果完成任务光荣隐退，就应该在选前就宣布
这个，
说 我们现在一切国泰民安，我们的民心向做执政党非常稳定，我们感到非常有成就，我们的接班人很强的队伍了。
对，之所以就是
我们就光荣隐退。实际上跟这个东西有几点颠倒，让我提出来一下啊。第一点呢，就是得票率它更低了，它有很多党内的政要已经叛离了他的政党，投向反对党。第二点呢，这是选前没有宣布，选后才宣布。
是。这个有点太突然，就是大家也没想到怎么会在短短1个礼拜后突然间就宣布，对吧？你要是在之前，要不就2年后，你觉得时间到了，我们一个接班人也做得很好了，我就现在就很放心的就离开了。是吗？
我可以说这个东西呢叫做落水狗败而逃。如果说他在失去的集选区再多2个的话，恐怕他们甚至会逃离新加坡。
可能没那么严重。
这不是不可能的事情。
对，
这是叫见势头不妙。你可以不赞成我的看法，但是我有我的理由可以叙述。
但是我觉得这个整个情况我在看呢，我就联想到好像一些老店在新加坡嘛，在经过几十年的这个运作嘛，比如一些商店你看过了。比如在牛车水还是哪里哈，就是老区营业，在那年代这个祖先就是开店的时候，他的装潢一不改的话，那他子孙在接班的时候，他就想改那个老的，一直说，比如爷爷说不可以，就是要保留这个装潢，保留这个招牌，那往往呢就被淘汰了。你觉得呢？
那么我就利用你这个例子来说明。现在他是说，好像老店要翻新，
对，因为他跟着潮流嘛，跟着时代的更改嘛，改变嘛，那大家就要装潢各方面啊，来符合这个新的一些这个购买群嘛，对吧？
他首先是，我就引用张时中先生所讲的话，就是说他在选前已经误导老百姓说。他们继续会担任执政，让老百姓在这样的误会的情况下去投票。这样已经对选群有欺骗。
这个刚才
选后这样子走掉呢，那我可以讲是一句话，4个字，中国人的成语说落荒而逃。
就是逃嘛，还没
夹着尾巴逃走，因为他看民意不对了。
那这个可能就是因为也想保护这个年轻的一代接班人，是吧？
年轻的一代呢，我可以从他那边讲，年轻的一代呢，对他们2个，尤其是李光耀已经是忍无可忍，因为呢，他们已经是党跟总理跟其他的部长的包袱，他们非但没有做什么贡献，还一直在闯祸。
所以他们已经作风方面
增加了他们的
太厉害，太对，
实际上造成他们失票。在这次选举中造成执政党失票。
So you want to address in English?
Sure.
That okay. Now I was giving you an example earlier on. Now I link it to like analogy, an example of a old shop house, you know, the traditional shop house where the father used to run a shop, and he's able to run it well. But that's in the 60s. And then come the 70s, slowly, okay, but not too good. And then come the 80s, it gets worse. And then competition set in the 90s, new shops sprouting all over the island, and they get competition. People have upgraded and come up with a new appeal in terms of the design, in terms of merchandise layout and all that. So that appeal is different from the 60s, okay? From that, so when the son takes over the business, he's unable to change if the father is very stubborn and say, no, you must keep it because we are very established. Now, I'll give you another example. It's like, you go to a medicine shop, and then have you seen the old medicine
medicine hall, okay, the Chinese medical hall?
You've got a cabinet, wooden cabinet with maybe 100 drawers. Then, what are you going to do? You sell traditional medicine. And then when these medicines are no longer that popular, and got to replace with modern medicines to meet up with the demands, expectations of the new consumers. Then you find that cabinet is not working well. You want to replace a modern showcase, but you are unable to do it because your father insists. And despite that, this cabinet with all the 80 over drawers, if you got rats running over, you got insecticides, insects and white ants.
Termites.
Yeah, termites, and you are unable to throw them away because your father said, no, this is our traditional thing, you have to keep this cabinet. And what do we do? If you were the son?
You see, I modify your example to say that the two old dead wood have been clinking to the edge of the cabinet. It's cabinet
with all the drawers.
Yeah.
So many drawers.
Yeah, and clinking onto the salary until they found the anger of the voter reflect so strongly. They dare not. They abandon, and they see too much problem.
I don't know.
They abandon.
I think maybe it's the time of awakening. Maybe then they realize, now that the results show itself that the electorate is not responding according
Seats
to
are too hot.
Yeah. It's not the same like before. It's just like an old businessman realizing that the son takes over, the business appeal has to be different, the packaging has to be different, the waitress, the waiters, or the staff, sales staff would have to be a different group. It's not the old coolie, old shops usually have a very long, loyal staff. But these days people change because
those have been they got rid of them long ago. Where were all these people? To Jin Chai.
Oh, okay. So all staff have been removed.
Yeah, they are gone.
But in keeping with the times, then you have to upgrade. Okay, your business has to move up in tandem with the times, and so that your merchandise can meet with the expectations of the new consumers.
You see, don't fall for the falsehood that they had turned over to a new era, that the son will start to lead a new era in a bright light and all that. His son had been forced to apologize just before the poll. And the two seniors, the father and the eunuch just abandoned ship after the poll. It's nothing graceful, nothing honorable, nothing well prepared and well planned for.
But assuming they take their departure from there, it's also a clear sign that they would have to get rid of all their portfolios or whatever, so that it's a clean break. If it's not a clean break, then you're still going to the PM or whoever is going to take on the job, or the team, the new team, who have baggage is very heavy because somehow the shadow is always cast over there. The new
this
team.
part absolutely, that the baggage is too heavy from the past, and they know that if they continue to carry this baggage, they are not able to make it in the next few years. So they abandon the baggage.
Yeah.
But it's not all gone, and it's not all different. It's not what they try to make you believe that it is a new page, a bright future, everything positive now.
So we shouldn't jump to this conclusion because what they're going to do next would be very important.
What they're going to do next is limited by a lot of factors, still limiting.
No, you have to see that how are they going to make the departure. If they think they are still indispensable, then they hold on to whatever jobs that they are there to look after or to protect one. Now this means would be casting doubts on the ability of the new team, whoever it is. That can they carry on the work from there, or they still have to hold hands? It's like
the big problem is going to be there. The crack is going to be there. The dispute, the pressure is so intense that they cannot hold together anymore, will continue to take effect. It is not a brand new party, brand new combination, brand new, all new blood, new culture, or new leadership.
No,
not that at all. Not that at all.
It's very much like you just have to. Unless maybe it's like nanny kind of thing, huh? So you are like now in the you know about breastfeeding. It's like a child having to be breastfed, okay, by nanny or by the mother, and then at a certain age, the boy grows up and has to take off from there.
Too late.
You can't be a teenager and still need to be breastfed. So this is one part that will the son make a clean break and say, "Hey, Daddy, let me take on from here."
No, he said it's a big event. I don't know. Big event. He's not prepared for it.
I think the other implication would be that if you have been running without obstructions from the opposition for decades, and then you have been mentored by you have been the top mentors, giving you all the experience that you need and the help that you need. So now it's come to a stage you are on your own. So you're going to complete the race. You are going to make it on your own with your new team. So we see how it takes off from there. So
don't be as optimistic as this. It's far from here.
You're not optimistic,
No, absolutely not. That's why I'm forewarning everyone that you have to bite your teeth and prepare for the impacts to come, and a lot will be negative instead of positive.
对，刚才我不是说嘛，我是举那个例子，比如说一个小孩嘛，在成长中，奶妈妈照顾啊，那就是这个有一个时候一定来到这个成长中一定要断奶，是吧？
没有这么积极。我要告诉你，事实上很消极。这一次呢，李光耀退出了内阁，这个吴作栋退出了内阁，并不是代表李显龙的成人礼或者回教有一个割礼了不是这一回事也不是说他奶嘴拿出来了，他现在更有能力。
不是，你是整个队伍就是接班人嘛。我现在就说我长大了，
他不是接班人。这些人根本就是在同一届选举里面之前一起被提名拿出来的，现在再跑掉两个老的。
他不是在更新嘛？党的
没有更新，
换血嘛？换血
那些垃圾还是一样的，这表示裂痕存在，两个老支柱的不得了，倒下去。现在问题会更大，裂痕会更多。实际上，我想坦白的向新加坡的人民说。人民行动党李光耀王朝崩溃的过程开始了，这个过程不会很长，但是会有一些现象是大家必须咬牙关度过的。OK， 大家要勇敢一点，不用害怕，千万不要因为吴作栋跟李光耀退出了内阁而认为有什么新希望，这是很深的误解。也不要感到同情或者心软，现在是应该咬着牙齿过去。
Okay, I want to bring the point. Okay, when you should be looking at how PAP has been performing the last few decades and why it has come to this stage where the votes are going down against them. Okay. That they are not enjoying the mandate and the good mandate that they have enjoyed earlier. So I want to bring a point that if you understand the situation in the incumbent party, PAP, it has always has been attracting a lot of people to the party because why? Firstly, the privileges that you can enjoy. It's like jumping on the bandwagon. Okay, you take a free ride. The chances of getting promotion, getting contracts, if you are affiliated to the party, you enjoy all the good things that come along.
You are talking about
the corporate
nepotism and cronyism.
No, maybe I'm talking
in general.
I'm talking about in general that people believe that you join the winner, you get the goodies. Nobody wants to join the loser.
Take a further look at what you're just saying. This is a subject of in the track of nepotism and cronyism. I can tell you. There's nothing positive even when Lee Kuan Yew leave the cabinet. The cronyism and nepotism in family regime of Lee Kuan Yew is still not positive. It's still even worse. You compare two generations of Lees. Lee Kuan Yew versus Lee Hsien Loong. Lee Kuan Yew didn't make his wife Kwa Geok Chu the Temasek chairman, CEO, or any official appointment. But now you have Lee Hsien Loong bring Ho Jing into Temasek and still there. And I can tell you, you saw Ho Jing campaigning in Ang Moh Kio, and residents of Ang Moh Kio have told me that son, I don't know which son, but son of Lee Hsien Loong was also campaigning in Ang Moh Kio, helping the father.
But I think that's perfectly all right, frankly. I think if your spouse, your children, your siblings, your family members,
the involvement tie in into the family, it goes into the nepotism trap. That I can tell you, for this second generation of the family Lee Hsien Loong's nepotism is going to be worse than the father. Compared to his father, the mother Kwa Geok Chu is not involved in politics.
No, I think the assumption that's on your side, but I
it's
think
a fact.
We should
you can disagree, but it's fact.
We should see from the average lay person's views that we talk in general, but because we go to the extreme part of analyzing from a different perspective, now the general public may not want to share that view. So we go to the point, okay, now earlier I was saying about people going to jump on the bandwagon, and then by, this is stifle the creativity. When you jump on the bandwagon, you say yes all the way. The parcel is yes, 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 and then the leader would like to hear. If you're grassroots, if you are in the party, you say yes, and then you don't question the system, you move up the corporate ladder.
This is a tradition that's going to pass down from father to the son, isn't it? You think that's going to change?
I mean, talking about the party, I'm talking about father or son.
It's still the same party, isn't it?
No, but Mr. Go Chok Tong, he has no children.
All of a sudden, Lee Kuan Yew left is not the same party.
No.
This culture is still going to be there.
SM Go does not have children going into politics. So
maybe it's just not yet.
Okay. Maybe you shouldn't say something.
So many of the PAP pioneers don't have their children offspring in, but then it's all everyone can leave, but leave will always be retained.
Okay, we talk more. We want to
analyze
why a one-party rule would not work well, and PAP is currently facing this dilemma. Dilemma wise,
that's still not changed.
No, the bandwagon is overloaded. Everybody jump in the bandwagon, take a free ride, and then the tires puncture at this juncture. Okay,
too many crises.
Yeah. Now who's going to drive? That's why people say, well, should we change driver? Should we repair the bandwagon first, or we shouldn't we should do without the bandwagon? So that people start walking. You walk the journey. You don't want to just take a free ride. We shouldn't encourage people to jump on the bandwagon and take a free ride.
In the middle of this storm, the two old captains jump ship.
But most people jump into the sea. The local citizens who have nowhere to fall back to, they have left the shores, their own shores, to swim across, go anywhere, and maybe drown in the open sea. So this is the very pathetic situation that the average citizen is facing. Now we want to know and tell you, can the PAP promise, the PAP government, how they're going to change at this juncture. Now we can remove two of the older people who tell the mentors.
It's too late.
Okay.
If they have to make any promise, they should do it before the poll.
Yeah.
Maybe they will get more vote.
No, you don't know how. Okay, we want to remove the side of the voting. We want to know. We want to tell people. We want to challenge the PAP government. What will you do from now? I think it's more important. We don't want to say whether the vote's going to swing here.
I don't agree with that. If they want to change their plan, the culture, then dissolve the parliament again. Go for one more poll. You let us agree or not agree on your new picture, new plan, or so-called new page. Because this is deceiving. You let us to believe it was all the old same thing going to continue. And then, after the poll, you change the whole story, change the main characters. And then you say, now it's a new plan. If you change the plan like this, then you need a new mandate. You cannot take the already taken mandate and change the plan then that is deception, that's betrayal. You get revocation immediately.
No, I think it is perfectly alright because they've been the winner. Okay, they have to. It's up to them to make decisions to make changes in the so.
No, they have to be approved by the voters, especially if you have new plan, new style, new culture, as you try to mislead people to be now. You better seek, be open, tell us before the vote, and let us have a poll on it. Don't slip past the poll, hide this under the carpet, and after the poll, you show a different thing. That have to be denied.
You are still harping on the election thing.
It is an election thing because they just change 1 week after the poll.
I know.
What is the commitment of the party? What is the stability and what is the transparency? If you have major change in cabinet, if you want to eliminate the SM, MM and tell us it's a different culture, a different combination, there's a drastic change. Then be transparent and inform the voters. You are deceiving the voters before the poll and then pull something out of pocket after the poll immediately. That is unacceptable.
I think it's perfectly alright because you mustn't forget.
You are too positive. You are thinking that it's something good we should welcome.
There are voters out there who wish that MM and SM could leave the scene. And
then tell us before.
No, it's a good thing because some people
Not
really
true.
see the
good thing or bad thing. What is the combination? You have to be transparent.
Okay.
You can't slip it under, hide it.
The scenario, okay, with MM, SM in place, as you suggested, they shouldn't change. Now, if they retain their seats and retain their positions, would it mean better?
I'm not talking about they are better, but this shouldn't be a hidden agenda. That means it's honesty. That means it's integrity issue.
Now that it has happened,
Now
that it has happened,
deny it, reject it, don't accept it.
This is impossible because it's
why not possible?
Expect a by-election.
We own the country. You can always have President Dutton issue another writ that this thing don't count.
This will never end if you keep on saying that. Then
because you have to change something drastic, you have to have the people to approve. We, the citizens of Singapore, own this country. Not PAP, not Lee Kuan Yew, not Lee Hsien Loong.
Referendum on this?
Not say referendum. You have a new cabinet, new plan. If you're telling people that you have to change drastically,
okay, why don't you do this?
You highlight and be transparent.
We challenge the PAP government to come up with the new plans and see how they take off from here. And would it be for the better? More important, the change would it be?
We have the right to approve or disapprove.
It takes
what is election for?
The formation of new policy.
That means you're approving them to hide the plan and then after the poll, change the plan.
Now that you have voted them in, there's no way to change until the next election. So
not true.
Huh?
Not true. The people of the Republic own the country. We did not cast vote, meaning that it is an appointment term strictly for 5 years.
Okay.
We own Singapore every minute, and if we like the government to be changed, we can impeach, we can throw them down, we can ask them all to resign. We can force them to resign.
Okay.
It's as in many other countries people do.
Okay. Now, if this is the case, you look at the scenario. After every elections outcome, the Prime Minister has the right to reshuffle the cabinet. So you cannot hold them and say, hey, you let me know who's going to be your finance minister, because the PM then, after the success of the election, would then decide his new team. And therefore, you cannot say, you tell me you are going to be the prime finance minister, defense minister, before I put my vote. So it's not possible. You have to make, if you are making change to tell that it's a new era and all that, then you show them. Let's face it. You show your manifesto. They will caught off guard. Bullshit. By this sudden swing. That's why the PM actually apologized for the past mistakes. Now, I can tell you, Lee Kuan Yew isn't even voted in. Okay? He limped over. And then, now he said, I want out. Okay, but that's
Then why as well you don't nominate yourself on that day? I was there, I saw it.
Okay, that was over. You have made your
not
your
over.
Point over.
I still have a week and a half to go to the court to make this application.
Now let's not go back to this same problem again, discussing past issues. Now we want to know is
I think we switch to Chinese to recap what was just said.
所以我刚才你说了嘛，我就说这个我们现在就说每个大选之后呢，总理呢。谁被选中总理的时候，这个总理这个权力，在委任某一个候选人作为部长、财政部长也好啦，国防部长也好啦。
我再纠正一下，我们投票的时候，并没有投说谁是总理，我们只是可以投谁中选不中选。
赢家就可以定。
对，如果那一天你，比如说洪茂桥是你赢了，今天李显龙就不能组内阁，就要由另外一个人组内阁。
那不等于我就做总理啊？
不等于你做总理，当然不等于你做总理。但是呢，剩下能够赢得到席位的人，那么他们就去决定这个做谁是组阁，是由谁组阁，在选举的时候是还是没有定。
我就刚才就说你讲英语，我们就谈到这个两个执政隐退，这个隐退的时候，我觉得是合理的，无所谓的。但是现在关键是要看。执政党 PAP 政府在这个
我正面
调整之后呢，
这两个该走的，实际上走，大家都欢迎他走，没有人反对他走。
那就可以。
但是问题是说，把他们的隐退，在选后的隐退，当做一个积极正面的事情，就并非这么积极，不是这么正面。
是选后他们这种，
他是被吓走的，
应该感觉就是应该隐退。所以这个我们也不能说一定咬定，就是他之前有这个想法，对吧？所以
但是如果李显龙现在说他是新作风、新的一页，有新的计划，那就已经对选民有欺骗的成分。因为呢，选民是在不知道这种计划，认为没有什么改变的情况下投票做决定的。这等于说，你如果有不同的计划，在选前根本没有对选民说。那么你现在在旧的计划得到我们的认可，得到选民同意之后，你现在在等于董事局经过投了票同意，就是说股东大会同意这个议决案之后呢，董事局突然翻案，
我觉得
这就有欺骗股东。
我觉得无所谓，我觉得这个东西在更改呢，在现在的社会，每个新的领导层在更换。隐退的什么都是很合理的，但是问题是，我们现在要看的是执政党竞选后胜利之后改革的时候，他要做些什么？因为他都道歉了。现在我们要看
道歉没有诚意，大错不认，小错道歉，已经上当给他骗。
你以前为什么你会承认呢？为什么错呢？我现在分析，执政党为什么错 ？PAP 政府会错的什么？因为他引进的、招的、吸引的人才是什么？就是 Yes Man 啊。跳上
其中一个因素了。如果你要说为什么他错，
你唱反调能进去吗？反对党能进去吗？
今天也讲不完的。
不，我们反对党能有机会在国会或者在这个政府部门打工吗？我们连工作，因为我以前在电视台，我敢讲话，因为我敢讲话。他说我是 anti-establishment， 每次唱反调。但是你像反对党，像这个工会的代表，那像我这种人，谁敢做呢？谁讲真心话？有建议的话都被开除了，所以你说加入 PAP 的都是 yes 点头的，所以这个党呢，一党制呢失败到今天，他为什么认为要改呢？也就是可能有太多这样的人你的拉数进去，
这不会改变，这还是一党制，
不会的，因为现在他
难道他变成两党制？
不是，你看现在已经反对党已经六位候选人进去了，
那不等于说他明天组阁会包括委任刘成强做部长？
不是，那是个开始
还差得远。
不是这个，
他老爸撇走了，不等。刚才有一个很重要的事，我刚才用英语说的，中文的还没有说，就是说，如果你有重大的，你认为很积极的这个新作风、新做法、新希望，你必须在选前公布。如果你是选后公布的话，
你再重复
等我讲完，这个必须呢，整个国会重新解散，重新让老百姓投票，把你的计划讲出来，让老百姓听。你需要我们的票来决定是赞成 还是反对？你不能够在股东大会讲这个议程、这个计划之后，让股东根据你这个计划、旧的这个计划来投票表决了之后，然后再更改计划，这就很严重的具有欺骗性。如果你的计划是因为因应时机，比如说你的2位执政病死了，就今天突然死了，你没有办法了，那么你计划完全改变了，你的主角换人了，那么你彻底的改变了计划了，但是你刚刚得到股东大会的批准，你这个计划新的计划如果很大的不同的话，你必须再问过股东，因为公司不是你的，国家不是你的，是我们国民的。你不要以为投了票就是给你五年的有效期的这个不变的固定的这个委任，我们的人民随时有权利更换这个，尤其是你的计划根本是改变。
我这完全不是很完全的同意这个。当然有一个就是比如那一区的选民在 Marine Parade 觉得他这个是执政很重要，少了这个执政，我们这里就弱，他就感觉这个是比较重量级的。
我主要不是讲说因为少了谁，我的讲话是说他现在说我已经新时代新作风，这个新时代新作风到底是什么？选前根本没有给我们老百姓一点都不知道。你现在讲新时代新作风会有很不同的做法的话，那先把你的新作风新计划公布给我们百姓知道，让我们再用我们的票去决定，因为国家不是你的。
但是这个是计划，比如他说5年计划、50年计划也好，这个只是一个宽宽的理念。
你了解林先生，根据宪法，每一任的国会，是最长是5年，在第一次开会之后的5年，对，但是没有所谓的最短，并没有告诉你说最短一定要做多久。如果有重大的改变，有必要需要获得选民的重新认可委任，随时可以解散国会来投票，不是来公投的。
我觉得要是一个新领导层能有这个换血过程是应该的。
他并没有换，他现在是把
旧的2个老的这个退了，2个老臣退了，换个新的。
是老臣吗？
那应该算是老臣吧？那还算什么？算
我讲难听是叫老狗贼，我现在不懂要叫什么名字说。
所以我觉得这个在总理，哪怕谁做总理，他有这个权利，新的队伍由他挑谁是部长，这个 reshuffle cabinet 是正常的，对吧？所以你也不能说咬定就是咬定这个问题。
我不是反对这一点，因为你当然要根据选后谁，好像现在杨龙文不能够主任内阁了，这是因为选举的结果，这一点是当然是自然是这样，在任何国家都是这样。但是说如果你说我现在的党呢，现在已经我们这个家天下的已经来到一个新纪元了，新时代，那么我们做新的做法，你选前没有公布，你选后因应，你说你是因应的话，那么你就必须再让我们公投一次。
我提到今天报纸有提到这个 Dr. Dan Cheng Bok 有提到说，担心就是2个这个长老下了，怕中国这个关系缺了一个人去拉这个友好的关系，我觉得这个也是蛮可笑的，因为要是个国家真正
可笑到我都不要去治理。
这个要是一个国家几十年是执政党，还需要2个人，就是 indispensable 人，你这2个人不能没有，你整个国家的外交都完了，这个是太可笑了。因为现在社会一直在变动，
它的规模这样子的话，就好像卖面的一个摊子一样，
是那个投手不在，那个店要关门了，对吗？不可能的啦。所以这个就是说，也就是证明要间接的就反映说，这几十年来，那个他所栽培的那一批人还不够这个分量或者这个能力来接班。Okay, maybe I think we should look at this other perspective. Now the MM and SM MM Lee and SM Go have stepped down, making their decision to step down. Now, what are the implications? Would this spell a bad period, the era, this new era? Can this team under PM Lee, the PAP government under PM Lee Hsien Loong, take off smoothly, the transition, if there's any? Because these two have been the mentor for the party.
There is no new blood. Absolutely no, unless you're considering Deng Puiling. No new blood at all. Before That means the 7th May poll until 1 week after from then to now, there's no new blood injected. Not possible to be injected.
No, the new candidates who have come in this time in the
that injection is already on nomination day, 27 April. That's something that's before the poll.
Then the PAP promised that this new batch of candidates, among whom they would pick up a new prime minister. This was promised by the PAP.
Yeah.
And we are looking forward to see. You mean to put in a totally new PM, or you're going to have a new cabinet, or what?
Prepare to change the PM. That is something that you have to tell the people before the poll.
No, they have said it, but the thing is, I think given the fact that new or the incumbent PM can actually, or the leader of the PAP government, has the right to reshuffle and appoint ministers.
Were you aware that when you were contesting in Ang Moh Kio, the people in Ang Moh Kio still were under the impression that the PAP candidate that they were voting would be the PM?
Yeah, this is also wrong, because I think when the parliament
and the media keep calling PM.
Yeah, this is Singapore's very unique kind of.
Then you are disadvantaged.
Yeah, I have seen the PM's posters all over the island. You know, everywhere in every constituency.
That is called candidate Lee Hsien Loong, not PM.
Yeah, because when the parliament has been dissolved, there's nobody is the PM. Everybody is back to their normal self.
There's only one person that so far had addressed him, one civil servant addressed him more accurately. That was the duty officer in CPIB when I went to make the complaint, the statement taking this officer told that he addressed, because I was complaining against Lee Hsien Loong for vote buying using the grow and share package. He said, our ex-Prime Minister, Lee Hsien Loong, he throughout used this correct term. Then it's something that I take special notice. No other.
Which means to say that the main media in Singapore, the media, Straits Times and the Wampao, they have distorted by addressing him as Prime Minister.
They got so used to it.
Yeah.
So because he always walked over.
So when I went to fight in Ang Moh Kio, I was not even mentioned in the papers. So I was like an invisible man. I suddenly realized I was the invisible man, you know, and nobody could recognize. Offhand, they say, this is the candidate fighting in that GRC. So, are we going to say that now the main media in Singapore would have to change the mindset?
Don't worry about them. I don't call them mainstream media anymore, because they are side stream media from now on. The mainstream media from now onwards is internet. That everything, it will replace television, printed news, it will replace fax, mail, it will replace radio, it will replace all forms of broadcast.
Yeah, it seems to be the case, and I think this time around, given that this powerful new media has actually helped the opposition garner more votes, because I think the youth today, the younger people, the younger generation, they have been accustomed to the usage of the internet to exchange views and all that, and this has helped in the interaction, in getting information, getting views, alternative views and opinions from various sectors. And this is a good thing, because over time, the voters become more aware of the real issues, the reality on the ground. So back to this MMD and SM goal. Having decided to step down, we have to look at the implications. Now, I personally feel that this change would, to some extent, bring about changes within the PAP. Within the PAP.
Yes, because this crack incident damage is going on.
But how PM Lee, being the Prime Minister, would take off from there is yet for us to see. Now, I give you an earlier example of, now if a child depends on people to hold their hands, and a lot of bodyguards and nannies.
If that was the case, now you will see him falling his flat on a
now let's say maybe he can take walk on his own now.
You think he will start to fly?
I don't know. Not fly. Now, as a child, I think some people have...
Child? He's older than you and me.
But given the fact that people feel that if Lee and SM Go would have to leave the scene,
too late,
the party, they think that the party would not be able to perform, which I think is a slap on the PAP's face, because you are saying that given so many decades of nurturing, you choose the elites, and now you say your elites not good enough without the two seniors, then something must be wrong. Now we want to analyze whether the wrong was due mainly to what? To the mindset, or to the party's the so-called policy making, or the establishment itself have not actually been effective. Now I want to tell you the example of the bandwagon. A lot of people join the grassroots, be members of their PAP, and hoping to secure a job, to climb at the corporate ladder.
But they are skipping to the opposition now.
Yes, surprisingly this time around some.
Something is wrong in the bandwagon.
Punctured. The tires are punctured.
Maybe it's on fire. Today's another SBS bus went on fire that the passengers fled, and then the bus burned until the metal frame is left.
So actually this GE2011 could be called as like a political earthquake to some extent to PAP.
Not real, and
maybe 5.7.
It's just they are falling apart as expected. I made an offer to Lee Hsien Loong before that if he throw his father out of the cabinet, I will back him. I will not go back on my word. But now, whether it's Lee Hsien Loong throwing his father out of the cabinet or his father just found the seat too hot, it is a positive thing for Lee Hsien Loong if he really shred this nepotism and move into a different direction. I challenge you, Lee Hsien Loong, take your wife Ho Jing out of Temasek. If you do, I will start to consider to shift my position.
You're making a proposition.
Now I made it before.
The electorate would be interested in seeing how things take shape after Lee and SM Go step aside. Now
don't forget, Go and Lee Kuan Yew are still on MAS,
GIC,
and all.
So I think rightly they should they should step out of this arena, not involving in the crucial areas of the, because when you are still in the GIC MAS, you are still on the stronghold or on the economy side. So your decision would actually affect the performance, good or bad. It has a direct implication. Now, if you're talking about leaving this, do they have the capable people they think, other than Lee or SM Go or Madam Ho Chin, would they think that somebody else could replace?
If they don't have, then be truthful and tell people we have this crisis of human resources. Don't give people the wrong impression like the past. You brag that you have tons of very good people, that you're just filling your cabinet now full of SAF, admirals and generals. It's like a junta.
It looks like warship,
huh? Of course, it's nothing different from Burma. That the Burma pulled this trick that they held an election, and the junta put up some puppets. Now they get off the sanctions with this trick.
But I don't understand the reasons for the justification for putting so many army heavyweights in the.
My God, these are generals with pacifiers.
No, okay.
These are
in terms of ranking.
Heavy.
In terms of
my
ranking.
God, they are so light.
No, in terms of ranking.
Ranking, my foot. No, I will not listen to these officers if
you put how many
to go and fight a war.
Other than brigadier generals, who else in a more powerful, higher position in terms of rank?
I mean, a heavyweight is a wrong word.
Okay,
ranking. They have no weight.
High
they
ranking.
are just, my God,
high ranking. Okay, high ranking. Now, their presence in the cabinet. Now they must be there for some reasons, right? Now are they able to manage the country, unless it's in terms of crisis, civil war,
it's
impending war, that you have to get your men ready on the alert that at any time now you may be ready for war. But again, if you bring in so many foreigners by the millions into this tiny island, are you not expecting social unrest, expecting the other problems arising from this?
Even when they arise, they are not able to face it, they are not able to fix it.
So
I can tell you that.
Okay, so
they are just fearful.
This could be like
they feel insecure.
You put this to enforcement, to ensure what do you call stability. Otherwise, why would you need so many army personnel? Childish. You should need economies. Then you put economies.
I disagree with that also. The economies.
So I think the electorate is now going to read from here and see over the next 1 year. Maybe they can't wait 5 years to see. The next 1 year, we should be able to see how the new team takes shape and what's in the offer.
No, I say just bite your teeth and see what fall apart.
那你是说刚才你觉得这个引进这么多新人嘛，还有很多是军人、军官，不是军人、军官，
这就是其实是一个军人政权，这就像缅甸一样，像柬埔寨一样，像洪森这种把军服换成西装来竞选，这个就是我们的新加坡的 SAF 这些奶嘴将军穿上白衣白裤来竞选。
但是为什么要这样做呢？是否
这
是因为
幼稚、没有信心、也没有人才的一种做法？因为这些人呢是比较容易听命令，
是吗？军人的容易听命令，
军人会听上面的命令。
他本身是发命令的人，怎么会听谁的命令呢？谁比这个准将更高呢？
就是现在这个你跟你竞选的那个准将你不知道，就在眼前哦。
双任的，又准将又是总理，
他们有这种危机，因为我早就讲了，李光耀政权他们不是属于世界各种政局的各种模式，因为有很多模式，有理想主义，有种族主义，有用宗教的，也有这种军人政权的李光耀的那个他的格式不属于任何的一种，所以他很需要一种纪律，他的党里面的纪律。但是
我问你，就是说很多人会这个疑问，你既然说引进这个这么军人来管理，准将那么多了，来这个管理层，你同时就引进很多外国这个人民进来，增加你的人口，那这个会不会是有一种冲突？就是理想中你就本来是说治安，为了治安你要保切没问题，但是你同时引进那么多人口外国人来，你不是自己造这个麻烦吗？你怎么去管制这个治安方面？那么多一些马死了嘛跑掉，你怎么办呢？
他其实这个是一个笑话，我不是讲这两个东西，在我的看法里面，我不是有把它那个一个关联啦。其实引进外国人口，自从英国当殖民地的时候就是这样的做法，但是是成功的例子，现在改为失败了。
当时人口很少啦，也就是说在这个小小的面积，这个小岛里面，
多少是有一个基线的问题的，但是也是要有一个比例跟一个速度的问题。
问题是这个
最关键的还在一个要点，就是你引进了之后，对原来的人口是有正面的帮助，让大家得到获利，大家都开心接受欢迎，或者是刚好现在像这样子相反，
就是英文讲 justification 的，你的这个为什么了？人家要知道为什么引进这么多，到底是在帮我们的经济，还是把我们的治安搞得更好啊？还是什么原因使你这样的批这个都这么多人口进来？所以这个在总理也不
英文来讲
好，所以Yeah, I was just asking the justification from PAP government. Why do we allow the influx of these foreigners coming in large numbers? And you have a figure above figure of 6.5 million in years to come. Why? Now that the economy is not, I think we're not at the top form and performing so well that become the envy of the other countries or even ASEAN countries, and why do you want to bring in more? I just don't understand.
This actually was something for you to ask Lee Hsien Loong during the election.
Yeah, but they blacked me out in the media. There's no
something
coverage.
a bit too late to ask, but something that is interesting now to ask. They said they want to have a different direction.
Okay.
Whether do they want these new citizens, new immigrants to go out or not? Are they going to back out on
Let's
this?
see. Let's see how they're going to address this. How they can remedy this situation. Now the numbers have come in. It's impossible to chase them out in just a matter of months and say bye bye. You know, you should give up your citizenship or whatever it is. I think it's an impossible thing. And now is the justification and how they take off from here. Are we going to still look forward to 6.5 million? If yes, tell us why. And how are you going to look after the present population? We're now at 5 point something million. So even given at 5 million, we're still struggling. Many of us are in our middle age. We are trying to find food to put on the table. And if the PAP government is not able to address this problem, I don't know whether you remove MMD, remove SMGO. I don't know.
I actually just like to highlight that on samiboy.com, I read this message today that someone said a big thank you to the foreigners because they came and changed that, make
political landscape change.
Make the political, that now the two MM and SM are gone because of mainly these foreigners.
It could be the reasons for the departure. I think that because the ground reading is different, all suddenly they were caught off guard again. You know, caught off guard again. But the thing is, given the fact that okay, now you have apologized, you have decided to make some necessary changes. I don't know. We take at face value that if you say this, okay, you have managed to swing the vote back to some percentage. Okay, you are still the incumbent.
You see, if it was anything of real apology, then the MM and the SM or even the PM should apologize and bow down to quit. Bow and quit.
No, but
it's not the case.
They won.
None of
one was a walkover, the other one won by 50.
Oh yeah, I said limp over.
So okay, but now the thing is, given the age, what by losing them, would it mean a disaster for the country? I don't know. Because I think
they made their own disaster and now they quit from their disaster. They just jump ship from their own ship to quit from the disaster.
I think there's some reservations, some concerns about their departure, like one from the
I would say the MM and the SM, the XMM and the XSM, they are quitters.
No, they may have good reasons to quit. Okay, I think some people.
Yes, of course.
I don't know what the main reasons, but
you don't know. I know.
If they have allowed, maybe it's giving leeway, free play for the PM so that he has a better.
If it was this myth that they cope, then they would have announced it before the poll, and they will not go to the nomination center.
They are giving this that they
and they don't need the 35 seconds to walk over.
PM team a new clean slate.
Oh yeah? Then that is something to do way before the poll.
But you should be harping on it because we assume that the decision was collectively made
you
by
bought
the cabinet.
The myth and you bought the lie they told. It's absolutely not the case.
Let's see. I think the electorate want to
see.
They
are trying to put positive light of their acquittal. They abandoned the cabinet. And they left it to whoever is there to take over. They try to put some falsehood to say that it's a new this, new that. My foot.
No. The announcement is only halfway. Because are both of them going to retain their GIC MAS position? Or is a total departure and say, oh, we are now ordinary MPs, we are backbenchers?
Why do you need even the MPs? Why?
No, but you see, they have won through the elections.
Don't nominate yourself. If you prepare to wash hands, don't deceive your voters.
No, they will take a passive role. They want to say, okay, we just tutor, mentor. we are not taking the lead. We will just give you
Deng
some necessary
Xiaoping
advice.
kept only ordinary membership of Communist
yeah,
Party. He don't even have any office.
Yeah. That.
What he do? He just smoke cigarette and play cards and play chess. But all the world leaders still have to visit
High
him
regard. I think they help
to hear his final say, such as Margaret Thatcher on the returning of Hong Kong '97. She already met Mr. Jiang Zemin, but she still feel that she has to hear it from Mr. Deng Xiaoping. Why?
Okay, I think the other person is ex-premier Zhu Rongji. Is he
Right.
a clean departure, but he still held in high regard. The people still remember him as a very good premier, you know. So I think we could take from China and say, okay, even a big country like China, nobody is indispensable. Now, I'm not talking about small city. People, if you claim that you have all the talents, you go through all the tea sessions, especially handpicked, then these are the best that you think you have. Then you say, oh, without the other two, we cannot cope. Then it's good as
Then it's laughable.
yeah.
I should switch to Chinese to say something that I just said. Okay? 我说呀，很多隐退的人呢，在政坛上隐退。我刚才讲到的一个例子是邓小平先生，他只是保留了中共普通党员的党籍，
就是
一切所有的公职他都放弃了。
这是很难得，因为但是他很多人还很尊敬他。
对，就好像要回归香港的这个问题，撒切尔夫人见了江泽民主席之后，还觉得不踏实，他要去见邓小平先生才把这个东西下定论。
还有一位就是那个朱镕基前总理，我觉得中国有很多很优秀的领导人，一隐退之后呢，人家做的表现，人家永远会记得，他也不需要再做管理这新的管理层。
你如果是一个有分量、引导国家有分量的领导人，就算没有任何党籍，都是一样有影响力。我再举一个我们邻国的例子，马哈迪医生，他现在是一个网民，用一个博客，他也能左右政局，他也能发挥他的能力跟他的贡献，不是失去他这个前首相的这个身份。
其实就说这个一个政治家，好的政治家，哪怕你隐退之后，你觉得是国事重要，有时候你也可以给意见。我觉得就好像平民这样，平民有一些好的意见，
你如果有那个
你取纳
能力跟那个分量，人家就会自然尊重。
对，我觉得也不需要给几百万。
你如果坐在内阁里面，让人家天天吐口水，作用还是等于零。
不需要给你几百万新币一年。
那个更是在吸血，在搜刮民脂民膏，那个根本就是一种我坚持的说，这就是一种合法化的贪污。
而且现在的时代，讲真心话，就现在时代变化无穷的，到处的国家的领导什么，所以你说这个两个长老，国际上的一个关系很好。但是现在很多国家的领导层都换了，那你所认识的那个 George Bush 今天也不是什么人了，对吧？那你认识他也没用。
你看李光耀跟马哈蒂的关系是不是特别的好？以前一起打高尔夫球，现在恐怕要拿那个球杆来互相敲头吧。
所以我觉得接班人还是要自己的本事，你不能说我靠那个谁来
你要靠现在也没得靠了，接受这个现实吧。那么大家就是要看着办了以后。
对，我觉得要是这个能干的领导人，就不需要再靠那个前总理，就是来牵手来带路，对吧？
很多国家根本就是改换领导的政党。那么你想看，好像马英九他从陈水扁民进党这边接管，民进党以前是从李登辉那边接管他有需要这个弄这个资政。
我跟你说，外国的政治不同，外国政治是一对一的，很公平的在打竞选的时候。新加坡很多是 walk over 的，比如我是一个新人，我就靠你这个部长的这个影响力，我就跟着你这个 GRC，我 就进去了。
对，那你看
的，靠我的表现，我只靠你的
清楚一点。马英九政府上台之后，清算陈水扁的贪污，把那个陈水扁关起来，他现在差不多全家人都判坐过牢。
对，这样的一个制度，你说这个
需要他资政什么东西吗？对，要找陈水扁资政。
啊，就是你必须这个管制了，就是你在这个政坛里面是否有这样的一个管制这个清廉，确定这个确保没贪污透明化，有吗？
这个新加坡来说是更上一层楼，他们是把这个
总理署，因为新加坡是全部都是总理署来管，就等于我自己来管我自己，那是不可能的。在香港有 ICAC 啊，
最近香港的 ICAC 把自己的调查主任逮捕起来控告啊，这个是叫做，这真的是一种包青天的作风，他没有包庇到自己人。相反的，我到贪污调查局去告了李显龙，他当场5分钟就决定说我们不调查。
哦，这个因为他是
老板贿选
管总理署了，所以这个
选举局也是总理公署底下的部门，所以我去告李显龙贿选，他就搪塞逃避。
所以这个制度在新加坡也许很需要改，对吧？有一天要
彻底的改，而且要清算，不清算根本没有起教训的作用，是不清算改不了，改不到。
我这几年住在中国，我发现我在中国观察，中国的就是这个官方方面管理这个很好，谁贪污不只是下岗开除这个党籍，还要砍的，
枪毙的，
死刑。对，最近不是就好几个了，其实
太多了。最近这个深圳的
杭州的也是一个杭州的，也就是说被处罚了。所以只有这种强硬的这种制度，
杀鸡儆猴，才会能够阻止贪污。用高薪来阻止贪污，这个是一种李光耀本身的妄想。你高薪养贪，自称廉，自迷不悟。
不，因为你这个高薪的被大家是顺风车。我知道你跟着你有好处，每个人跟着你，你又包庇，你又保护我，很安全，每个人商人什么都跟着你。
对，他自称高薪养廉，实际上是高薪养贪，自称廉，真的是不知羞耻。
所以这个希望这个新的队伍，哪怕就是 MMD 没有了 ，SM 没有了，新的这个领导层，哪怕是李显龙做总理了，你能改吗？你能有这新的作风吗？
我认为他绝对不会改。今天如果他把内阁的薪水降低一半，
不是一半，不是，我觉得应该5万就够了，新币5万，我
那更糟，他会跑到我跟你讲，他连议员都跑掉，不要讲部长跑掉，
为什么？钱不够用啊！
他这些人根本就是为钱去当官的。
你不能应该用这个来吸引人才，因为真正这个
所以
政治上，
我从这一点就可以讲明，所以你太乐观了，说他会改变。像他这种呢，用高薪养贪自称廉的大腐败作风，是从李光耀会延续下去的。如果李显龙能改，我跟你讲，我可以改姓李。真的，
那大家有一天
你的这我可以改叫李叔。如果你能够把这个内阁的薪水改成林先生所讲的5万块，
部长5万块够了，
你的内阁不散掉的话，
我跟你说，
我就不要叫耶稣，我叫李叔。
因为你想以前的吴庆瑞、郭平水这些，真的我觉得那一批人才真的是牺牲，因为他是在这个 moral will，出于这种为社会为国家的一种贡献，都经差那一层的那个，但是后来又变得哇，这太离谱了，几十万一个月，你就是你一天的收入，普通人民要做1个月，
哪里值？
一天可能需要做1年呢。
对呀，一年
你一天收1万块新币嘛，
不止，
那差不多1万块了。高端的差不多有1万，一天1万，
有1-2万。
有一些人就可能要做1年嘛。你说你一天，人家做1年，这样是什么制度啊？这个什么叫做？
我们转成英文说。
So I was just saying, I propose that actually ministers should not be paid more than 50,000 Sing dollars, and that's sufficient. Now it's very absurd you go to the figure of paying yourself 10,000 or more a day, and that's equivalent to the average worker 1 year's job, salary, wages.
Wage, yes.
Yeah. So how can you be the leader and you want the moral authority? Where's your moral will? The moral compass is not there, and you say, oh, I'm going to govern you. My 1 day salary, you have to work 1 year.
Therefore, I was saying that it is impossible for Lee Hsien Loong to change this, especially this portion of his father's baggage and burden, that the salary, the glorified and legitimized corruption of Lee Kuan Yew family regime will never change. If Mr. Lim's proposal of $50,000 a year salary, he can still form his...
A month, sorry.
Okay,
$50,000
a month salary. He can still retain and form his cabinet without falling apart. I will change my surname to Lee. And will not be UncleYap, will be Uncle Lee.
Okay. So we take your word, and so if the PAP government is going to do that, you will have to do a depot, go to the lawyer and have your...
Yeah, I will go to national registration and change. I can tell you that this is not possible to change. Lee Hsien Loong, he don't have the ability, don't have the strength, don't have the power.
I think, he
may have the dream.
I was talking about the past leaders like Dr. Goh Keng Swee, Dr. Toh Chin Chai, and these people, these people have sacrificed a lot, and they have actually made Singapore what it is. And the team of leaders are actually only carrying on the work, Now Singapore has been a small island. How much work can you put in the infrastructure? You do this, you do that, you tear down this, you build that. Now there's nothing very creative about it, right? If we had been very creative and fruitful, then our old age the lay people would enjoy good retirement, and they don't have to bend their backs to pick carton boxes and all that. Now this is a common sight. If you go to hawker center, you get to see all these old folks and the middle-aged people jobless hanging around in the void deck coffee shops, without a job, not able to bring their children, to raise their children. Some are unable to get married because of the lack of financial security. And some even don't have a home, and a lot of families have gone dysfunctional. Now this is a very pitiful and pathetic sight that unfortunately we're seeing it today. So we put a challenge: if the PAP government can come to a point and be more realistic. Now what you are demanding in 1 day's salary, the poor common folk has to work 1 year to earn that income. What you earn in 1 day, we work for 1 year. And some people are even more unfortunate, not even holding a job, and because of discrimination, age. You have the influx of the foreigners here to replace we Singaporeans. We are displaced, many have taken the route to go Johor, migrate to Johor, rent out the HDB flats to live off.
Singaporean flag to many countries, not just Malaysia.
It's not a choice. We are quitters, not by choice. We have to go China to live on the cheap so that we have a decent survival, subsistence level. We're not enjoying a very quality kind of life. We're not going to say we live in Las Vegas or in some Hawaii resort. But this point is that, okay, given that now Lee has stepped down, SM Goh has made his departure from that position, now are we going to see a good change, a change for the better?
Slightly only. At most, but then a lot of
because now that PM Lee is going to have full control,
a
clean slate. Now,
it's not possible for him. The
reading on the ground is that if PM Lee, now this is my own viewpoints, that if the PAP government under PM Lee is not able to address these problems within the next 2 years or so, before the next election, now things will get worse for PAP.
Things will
get worse. Because why? The voters who wanted change are hoping that, okay, you have apologized. We are waiting for the changes. It's not just apology. What comes with apology would also be an effort to change for the better. And if you are just apologize and don't make changes, then then there's no point in an apology, right? So we want to see
The point
concrete plans.
is to rescue some vote lost last minute desperately.
This shouldn't be the
That's
case.
all. This shouldn't be the case, but it is the case. 我转成中文来说，今天这个结果的局面，实际上不是2011年大选一届大选的结果。实际上，在2006年选举到2011年的选举之间这段时间，我们进行过很多的斗争。李光耀李家政权的很多武功就已经在这段时间内被废了，他用来压制反对党的很多手段，现在在那段时间已经是无法再使用。我已经很清楚，2011年的大选，他不可能再像以前这样挥大棍子、趾高气扬，再弄个诽谤官司、高施压来恐吓。他已经没有这个条件，我已经很有把握。结果他就是乖乖的道歉。
不是这届就是说
他的内伤武功早就已经是
这个有个原因因素呢，就我觉得这一届这个大选呢，2011候选人在各不同的反对党都有一些来自公务员。
就是
所谓的跟他
可能叛逃出来，就跟这个2011年，这个2011年选举之前，2006跟2011之间的那段时期的改变所造成的一些结果，所以现在才总结出到表面出来。这个以前的那些部分是内伤，还看不出来，现在看出来了。
因为现在的反对党，也就是普及上就比较大胆。
为什么？因为这个恐惧已经被逆转了。现在大家都知道，恐惧在他那一边。
所以这次也就是说 ，PAP 本身你要是看这个全面的这个选票的这个票数，你也就是说他们也赢了几个8000罢了，也就不是说大赢的。在这种情况下呢，要是 PAP 政府在这次还是做得不好，下来1-2年表现不好的话，下一个大选更糟糕了。肯定。
你要知道，这一届的选举跟上一届气氛根本有很大的差异。上一届我在助选的时候，我到处在卖党报，警察到处在跟着我录像。你知道吗？我们到那个党报到最后，李光耀要控告民主党中委的时候，连那个印刷商都不敢替我们印。
我也中啊，
我知道啊，所以刚才就指着你。
我离开1年内，我离开，
所以这个情形现在今年这个大选的情形是180度的调转。上一届大选，他说我要对付反对党 ，fix opposition， 在同样一个地方。
这一届反而是道歉，就说
气氛是不一样的。他的武功被废，内伤发作，现在已经兑现。这个已经是不能再倒回去。
我看主要不是反对党的变化怎么样，而是这个选民的心态不同了。
对，
主要是年轻的选民
有机会看清楚。
现在在这个网站比较普及了嘛，大家都交流啊，在网站交流啊，有什么问题政策不对了，大家都讨论，所以这个是很健康的。在一个现代的社会，这种交流非常好，你觉得呢？
当然，这个是不可逆转。
就是说，你看现在这个丁佩令啊什么的，什么东西，或者很多 grassroots 做错什么东西都被挖出来了。一挖出来就是你的丑闻什么都抖出来了，对吧？所以就说你的人选好不好，不是由你讲的，也不是你主流的媒体在说的。
对，
大家永远
摆布不了。
雪亮的眼睛在网站，你不知道，他知道，抖出来了，大家都看得清楚。
所以对接下来的变化，大家我劝告大家，眼睛要更擦亮，不要自满，不要以为我们现在成功了，以后现在开始马上就是有好日子过了。我告诉你，大家准备把牙齿咬紧一点，眼睛擦亮一点，手脚利落一点。
那说一句最后的一句公平话，也就是说，大家也要看 PAP 怎么做，下来结论，对吗？现在刚刚大选过了，
我不否定某一些地方会出现正面的现象，但是我跟你讲，这个包袱太大，过去的包袱太大。现在他一放下来，我跟你讲，他脚根本就会抽筋，这边要换那边要换。我跟你讲，他武功其实是被废，很难改变。 就是我刚才所说的这个高薪水这个东西，如果你现在没有高薪水来付，他的内阁根本会足不出众。
那是真的，这一群人是真的为了钱来做工吗？来服务吗？
如果你这个东西能改变，并非一朝一夕能做到的。
不一定啦，总会有一些人不为了钱。我觉得很多很多人做社会工作者，
那要重新提名选的，现在不可能了。
其实你说我就问 BAB 啦，很多人问 BAB 政府，就说你的目标就600多万的人口的目标
650
万，那你现在这个已经500多万了，你是否还继续呢？还是要停？你要怎么对这个问题怎么？
实际话讲，它是进退两难，骑虎难下。
不是，有人怎么分析呢？有个反对党的这么分析，你引进100多万的劳工，外国人，他们的这个人头税每个月500块，你就乘以吧，每个月100多万的500块多少钱？1年多少钱？5年多少钱？
不用去算，你要知道现在它东西都是进退两难，它进也死，退也死的。
那应该怎么办呢？那就是看他们的表现。
这是他的包袱，他自己以前制造出来的，他们这些精英制造出来的，他现在怎么办？如果我要提出我的策略的话，那不如我就出来主政党。
不是，就是说我跟你讲，
我不会提，我会知道怎么办，我也不告诉你。
对，现在这个 cabinet 的开支太大，这个管理层，这个 without portfolio， 这个 minister 什么什么的太多了，薪水太高了，
助理从太多。
大家就是这个，
这是他的包袱。
对，这个来管理普通人民连饭都没得吃的，工作都没有的。那你这些所谓他们还说把他自己称为是为我们服务的工人，我们的工人太贵了，我们的工人一天1万块新币，我们普通老板还要，我们的所谓老板，人民是老板的话，那人民这一年的工资你赚1天，对吧？不符合嘛，这是，所以大家就说，那就是任命吧。大家既然就说现在他有决心要改了，把那个长老叫下台了，大家就是有待看这几个月或者1、2年，看有什么成绩，有什么变化。
这样太天真了吧？
没别的法子，我们也只能看看他们表现吧。
这短期内他可以就乱七八糟，慌成一团不知所措。
我看最后了，就留你一句话给你说，那我们结束这个话题了。
我就是提醒各位老百姓，就是说，新加坡的改变呢，真正改换的时代已经到来了。那么不能够太天真，不能够太乐观，也不能够太满意，千万呢不要太仁慈。太原谅，不要忘记我们受过什么样的对待，不要被天真的这种新名词、新希望冲昏头了，忘记我们从什么路走来，要去什么地方。这我跟你讲，绝对换汤不换药。
你的意思这个？
我的意思就是这里。
那我就补充一句话，最后我就补充，就是说，选民或者新加坡公民要看待这个问题很严重的，就是说大家很小心的看，也叫参与感一定要在，而不是5年来参与1次投票，就是在监督中，你哪怕在支持或者反对的声音，一定要继续。在网站你有什么不满的东西，在你说了。
Recap in English. Recap in English.
So just a few last words before we end this topic. Now you want to have something to say to the audience?
Yes, I want to summarize what I said today is that don't be deceived by the departure of Chok Tong and Lee Kuan Yew. The burden in family regime remain unchanged. The culture remain unchanged. Their salary will remain unchanged. They can make small adjustment. They cannot shred the legitimized and glorified corruptions of obscene salary. If they discontinue that, they will fall apart themselves. So don't forget the past, what we've been through. Don't forget where we are going to. Don't be deceived. Don't be complacent. And don't be soft-hearted. And don't forgive just because apologize or promise some change, persist our will and our direction to reform Singapore. Republic of Singapore belong to us citizens, not the family regime. Lee Kuan Yew left cabinet. It is still family regime.
Okay, I just add a few words, okay, before I end today's topic. Now I think this time around the GE 2011 has been an awakening period for electorate as well as for the PAP incumbent government.
Absolutely, yes.
And I think it's because of the electorate's desire to vote in some opposition, to show the opposition's percentage, you know, as a reflection of their resentment, their grievances, their dissatisfaction with the government's policy. Now it has come to a stage that the electorate, even despite the PM's apology, PAP side's apologies, and trying to make remedies, okay. Now I think the electorate and Singaporeans must stay focused, that they must keep watch on the move of the PAP from now on. Now, if you feel that there's nothing too positive, constructive, and not working towards for your interest, express it through the media, the new media, the internet. Gather momentum, pressurize the PAP government, because only then we can make changes for the better. Shall we then end this?
Yes, thank you for watching this episode.